Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Judy. Glad to be here.
He is running for Agriculture Commissioner, and we're happy to have him. That's unusual that we have them. Let's see. Was the incumbent Gary Black? Who did he endorse? Did he endorse anybody?
Well,
he's not running.
No, ma'am. He's not running. He has decided to seek U.S. Senate office, and he's in the process of running for the U.S. Senate, which opened up the opportunity for us, and so we've jumped in the race to succeed him as our state's next ag commissioner. And I know you and the mayor were talking about y'all might not disagree on certain things politically sometimes, but I hope to bring y'all together and allow y'all to agree on at least one political candidate on the ballot. I look forward to doing that.
Well, you know, you're supposed to have both sides. There.
I understand.
I'm for the person. There is not for the person today, because when you mark the ballot today, there's not it. Yeah,
Yes,
Tyler, why don't you tell them just a little bit how you got your background in agriculture and
be happy to do
what
that.
you're bringing to the table.
Yes, sir. So I'm a 7th generation South Georgia farmer, and been my family's been here in the state of Georgia for over 200 years, and born and raised on a family farm there in South Georgia, and I'm a peanut, cotton, timber, beef cattle operator down there, and I farm the same piece of dirt that's been in my family for over 125 years, and just been involved in agriculture as who I am, what I'm about, and it's molded me into the person that I am today. Farm values is what I learned on the farm, and I look forward to bringing those farm values to the office of agriculture, to the office of the Agriculture Commissioner, and look forward to serving our state as the next ag commissioner. You know, I think my service in the state Senate, been in the state Senate now for about 10 years, and I believe that's given me a foundation to build off of, to serve our state in that role, in that capacity, and you know, work to put our farmers, our producers, and our consumers first, because at the end of the day, agriculture is our #1 industry. We got to ensure that we have the right person and the right voices fighting for the industry on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you for coming. But now you live in Ocilla.
Yes, ma'am, I do. I live in Ocilla, Georgia.
On 129.
Yep.
And that's close to. That's a small town.
It is. It's a small town. Ocilla's a 2 red light town down in South Georgia. It's near Tifton, yes, ma'am. That's right. It's near Tifton, Georgia, and that's where I was born and raised. And like I said, I've been there my entire life, and my family's been in that part of Georgia for going on 200 years, and that's where we have invested and have been involved in the ag industry for a long time.
Well, the agriculture, what's in the school there, and then it shifted.
ABAC, Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College. Yes, ma'am. It's down there.
There is farms, and they're I guess. Farms that they put there, you know, for, I guess, demonstration or whatever.
Yes, ma'am. So in Tifton, you have Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College. I went to ABAC, went there, and then went to the University of Georgia, have a degree in agricultural engineering. But there in Tifton, in and around ABAC has a farm operation, but the University of Georgia has a significant research farm operation there in Tifton, and they do a lot of work in the row crop and livestock side. And so, yes, ma'am, there's a significant presence down there from that perspective as well.
How did you get your start in agriculture?
Well, it was really a family deal. You know, I grew up, like I said, on the family farm, and my grandfather taught me how to drive a tractor, and that's kind of how I got my start, I guess you could say. I graduated from driving tractors on the carpet in my mom and dad's in our house on the carpet on the floor to my grandfather teaching me how to drive a tractor, and I first learned how to drive on a Massey Ferguson 135, and I still have that tractor on the farm, and we still use it on the farm today. And it's just kind of in my blood. It's who I am. It's been in our family for a long time, and I've been proud to be a part of this industry, and looking forward to serving as our state's next ag commissioner. This will give me the opportunity to give back to an industry that's given me and my family so much, and I look forward to doing that in serving in that role and in that capacity.
So what does your family farm raise? What's
So I think I have peanuts, cotton, timber, and beef cattle. So I have that's the operations that we run. So a small row crop operation, and we got a beef cattle operation too.
so cattle?
Yes, ma'am.
Cotton.
Cotton.
So
We do have some
I'm
cotton.
driving down through South Georgia one day, and I looked over there and saw this cotton. It was colored. It was khaki, and then I saw a field that had a little bit of pink. Somebody said I was nuts, but they did raise khaki cotton, didn't they? Yeah, or do you know?
That's a new one. All the cotton I have is white. I'm sure it's possible.
It'd have a brown tint to it before it's picked.
Well, I was actually.
When it's in the
That's
hull.
right. I was actually heading there. So in some cases you can have cotton that does have a tint to it. Just depends on the weather and other issues in and around it. But yes, ma'am, we do. But it's also wrapped in different color wraps from time to time too. So when you ride
maybe
down
that's
through
what I
there,
saw
you can see cotton wrapped in pink wraps and green wraps and all kind of different color wraps before when it's getting packaged up and getting ready to sit to the gin.
I'm amazed at the gins and so many of them down through there, down in South Georgia. And
Yes, ma'am.
And the trucks, not the trucks, but the bins that they carry them in and those kind of things.
Yes, ma'am.
It's absolutely amazing. If you've never seen it, folks would be interested in that.
It is. Georgia, agriculture's the number one industry in our state, and we've been the number one state in which to do business for 8 years in a row. And part of the reason we're the number one state to do business is because our number one industry has been successful, and we've got to continue to ensure that industry is successful for us to continue to be the number one state in which to do business. And the agricultural industry in our state is diverse from all corners of the state of Georgia, and it's been remarkable to get around the state and see the different commodities in agriculture, some of which we might not have in South Georgia, and be able to learn more about those type of things as we're traveling around to earn the vote and the support of individuals across the state to serve as the next ag commissioner. And I look forward to doing that and representing all of agriculture as our state's next ag commissioner, and making sure that our farmers, our consumers, and our producers have an individual that they can count on that will have their back and be their voice on the state level when it comes to these issues.
Was your farm in your area involved, when the tornadoes and the storms came over from the Florida coast and come through there to Albany and up and down through there?
Yes, ma'am. So my farm actually was not impacted as much as others were down in the more southwestern part of our state. And you're referring to 2018 to Hurricane Michael. Hurricane Michael did devastate the agricultural industry, especially in the southwestern part of the state. And we're still working through that. And a lot of our farmers in that area and producers are still dealing with those issues from 2018 and Hurricane Michael. And we're getting back on the mend and in a better place, but that hurricane actually destroyed a lot of the crop, and in some cases destroyed an entire crop for those producers. And one of the things that we're going to work to do as the next ag commissioner and ensure when those type of things happen, I hope we never have another hurricane in the state of Georgia, but undoubtedly we may face other disasters that we may face and in the ag industry may deal with. But one of the commitments that I have is serving as the next ag commissioner, is ensuring that whenever those things happen, that we're going to work to ensure that relief and that disaster relief has got to our producers and our farmers in a timely manner, and work with the federal government to make that happen, and maybe even work in a way to where the state plays a larger role like we did during Hurricane Michael with the block grant program, and allow the state to play a bigger role in helping get that disaster assistance to our producers across the state, and ensuring that they're able to get back to work in the next crop year.
I know tonight you mentioned Homeland Security, and I think that's going to be a big factor. And I know you've got some ideas about getting them more involved than what they currently are. Can you touch on that just a little bit?
Yes, sir. So I think one of the things I talk about, and one of the things I don't think gets discussed enough in the arena in regards to agriculture, when we talk about food safety and food security and the food supply chain, is how all of that is integrated in regards to our national security concerns as a country. The agriculture commissioner for the state of Georgia actually has a seat on the Homeland Security Board, and I think that's important that the ag commissioner has a seat on that board, and because agriculture is an integral component of our national and our nation's security and our state's ability to sustain, and our nation to be able to sustain. And we've got to work to ensure that we're growing the food, the fiber, and the shelter for ourselves within our own borders as much as possible and as much as we can, without a reliance on foreign imports or foreign nations, and holding other nations accountable in regards to trade and those issues. And I think that's important in this conversation, and we've got to ensure that that continues to be at the forefront when we talk about agriculture, because we've got to be able to continue to feed ourselves, to provide clothing and to provide shelter for our citizens, and the way we do that is to ensure that supply chain is protected, and that we can rest assured that our food is safe, our food is secure, and when you go to the grocery store, as a family that product that you bring home is going to be something that you don't have to worry about there being an issue with it, and that you can provide a safe, reliable meal to your family. And then when we send our kids to school, that they'll have a nutritious meal waiting for them in the lunchroom. And all of that is part of this conversation. Americans and us in the state of Georgia, we enjoy the safest, most abundant, most affordable food supply in the world. We're proud of that, and we must continue to ensure that that's the case. And as the next ag commissioner for the state of Georgia, we're going to work to ensure that that happens.
Just say excuse me, go ahead.
And that's important because, the average consumer, we go to the grocery store and buy it, and we don't think anything about that. And we need somebody in that position that understands that.
Yes, sir.
And you certainly have put the emphasis on it. And, Lord knows, food safety's in the paper every day.
Yes, sir.
So I think that's a big plus that's
right.
That's on top of your list.
Yes, sir. It is.
This is kind of funny, but every day we also see there's a shortage of paper towels and toilet paper, and you say you've got timber?
I do have a
So
timber
that's wood,
operation
and that's
too.
what
Yes,
makes
ma'am.
it.
That's correct. And well, you're talking about timber. Georgia. A lot of folks don't know this. That Georgia's the #1 forestry state in the nation. We produce more forest products here than any other state. We're the #1 forest exporter of forest goods in the country, and the forestry industry in the state of Georgia is significant. It's huge. It's a huge part of that agricultural portfolio that we have in the state of Georgia, and it's something we're proud about. And part of that is because of the access to markets that we have through the Port of Savannah, and we've got to continue to invest in that and invest in the Port of Savannah, and ensuring that we have those ways that we're able to access those markets, both not only here domestically but also internationally. And it's an important piece of the puzzle in regards to this. And as the next ag commissioner, we're going to work to ensure that that's the case.
So who do you sell your timber to? I'm just curious. I see when I go up and down those roads, I see all these trucks with all these logs on there, and I think, where on earth they get all them logs, and where are they going?
So we, typically we sell all our timber through a broker, and so they'll buy our timber, and then they'll turn around and they sell our timber to a mill, and it could go into a variety of things, whether it's saw timber that goes into making lumber to build for wood for your houses, or if it's timber that may go to a pulp mill.
Well, doesn't Tifton have where they press wood? Is that on the side of the interstate? Isn't that Tifton?
There's a facility. There's a couple of different mills and facilities down in South Georgia. A lot of them are mainly located down in Southeast Georgia, where most of the wood basket is located. But there's also some facilities in some other parts of the state as well. But we have a pellet mill in the state of Georgia that creates pellets, wood pellets, and obviously we've got pulp mills, and we have saw mills, and all of that's an integral part of the forestry industry in our state. Yes, ma'am.
So what are some of the challenges facing the agriculture industry?
Well, we've kind of talked about some of them a little bit, but there's a number of challenges. I think that even though agriculture, we're in a great place is our state, and agriculture has an opportunity to continue to thrive, and I look forward to doing my part in helping that. But in regards to challenges, look, access to capital is an issue, especially for new and beginning farmers, and trying to find ways to get that capital, be able to get involved in the agricultural industry is something that we've got to find ways and maybe find some innovative ways to help address that. And I think there's some things that we can do to help in that regard. I think another thing is ensuring that we have confidence in knowing that our ability to do what we do on a day-to-day basis from a right-to-farm perspective continues to be protected. So ensuring that our right-to-farm laws are up to speed to where that agriculture is protected in our state. It is our #1 industry, and we've got to ensure that we're protecting that opportunity for those who are involved in the industry, and keeping our playing field level in regards to federal trade practices and those that we compete against in other countries and other nations around the world that we compete against. Everybody and all those that I know in the agricultural industry are willing to compete. We just want to compete on a level playing field, and working to do that is just as important, and ensuring that level playing field is there, and that's a challenge that we face. And there's some proposals that have been out there, such as the death tax that I know this administration has proposed to try to apply, and I'll tell you that death tax creates other hardships, especially on the American family farm. 98% of farms in America are family-owned operations, and whenever you have those type of things, especially with legacy operations where you have those large tax burdens, when the patriarch of the family operation passes away, it creates a problem where those operations may not be able to sustain, and I think that's an issue we've got to make sure that we address and make sure that we fight against those type of policies to ensure that the American family farm can continue to thrive and last a long time, because the heartbeat of America, the heartbeat of our state, is agriculture. It being our #1 industry, it's important that we continue to make sure that policies are in place that allows the industry to thrive.
So, a lot of folks out there don't know, when is the election?
So the election, that's a good question. So we do, the primary will be this next May, and then there's the general election is this next November. And so we're working hard to travel around the state to spread our message and about who we are. And I look forward to the opportunity of leading a department of dedicated employees and serving this industry and serving the agricultural industry. And we're working hard to get out to earn votes of the citizens of the state, both in May and in next November, and hopefully we'll be able to earn that support and earn their vote and serve as our next ag commissioner.
You're actually unique in the fact you don't have to face an incumbent.
I do not, because it's an open seat, so there is no incumbent in this race. So we're in the and at this point we're the only announced Republican candidate, and I look forward to earning votes this next year, and look forward to getting across the state of Georgia and meeting as many of the 11 million Georgians around the state as we can, and earning their vote and their support and their confidence and their trust to serve as their next ag commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the ag in the local high schools is really picked up, and it's become a lot more popular than it seemed like it went through a period there about 8 or 10 years to where there was no participants and no publicity, nothing else. And we're building a new career college academy here in Catoosa County, and the Ag Center is going to be part of it.
Awesome.
Do you have any plans or anything on keeping that youth involved in it, because that's the one that's going to be the future of it?
Well, the future of agriculture is most definitely our youth, and I'll tell you from my perspective, my involvement got started early on when the FFA and the 4-H,
exactly.
and that's right.
Yeah.
And ag education programs are at the heart of who I am, and I actually contribute a lot of my success that I've had in life and business, and both in the political arena, serving in the state Senate now for almost 10 years, I say that a lot of that is due to my ag education background and what I learned in that regard. So investing in the next generation of agriculture is significantly important, and we do that in a lot of different ways. We do that in new technologies, we do that in new investments, but we also do that in human capital. And the way we invest in human capital is ensuring that we're building that workforce of those who would be willing to go into the agricultural arena, and we do that through our educational opportunities like college and career academies. And it's awesome to hear that y'all have a new one coming in here, and they will have an ag component in that. I think that's significantly important. And you know, we've expanded the ag education classroom here in the state of Georgia. I was proud to co-sponsor a bill. I know Senator Mullis co-sponsored that one as well, where we put ag education into the K-5 classroom. And so now in Georgia, you have the opportunity to receive an agricultural education class from kindergarten to 12th grade. And I think that's awesome that in our state we're able to educate our young men and women of the importance of agriculture, but also expose them to an industry where they may be able to find an opportunity and a job where they can go work. 1 in 7 jobs in Georgia are tied to agriculture, and if we don't have that steady stream of workforce and individuals that are willing to go into the industry, you know, we've got to find that way to make sure that that's there so agriculture can continue to sustain. So we've got to invest in that, and I look forward to partnering with the Department of Education, with the Department of Agriculture, and ensuring that process continues to be there, that process is streamlined, and we're continuing to educate that next generation who's willing to go into the ag industry.
There's probably a lot of children that don't know what a cow or a pig is.
That's
well,
right.
They don't, and it's an amazing statistic that you just put when you said 1 out of 7 jobs.
Yes, sir.
You know, I don't think the average person realizes the impact that ag has on our state.
That's correct.
You know, it's a huge part of our overall
It is.
economy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
In North Georgia here, there's a lot of farms and a lot of agriculture.
Well, a lot of things. I mean, you mentioned it. A lot of things are tied to agriculture in ways, and a lot
That
of folks
people
that
don't
don't
even think
understand.
about.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's we're tied to agriculture in some way every day. Every day that we wake up and in everything that we do in some capacity, agriculture is tied to something that we've done during that day, and that's why it's important. That's why it's important to make sure that the right folks are at the helm of the agency that oversees that particular industry for our state, and you know, that's why I'm running. I want to be that champion for agriculture. I want to be that champion for our farmers and our producers, and I want to be, and I will be that champion for all of those and our consumers across this state. And I will be the champion for agriculture and ensuring that it continues to be our #1 industry.
What committees did you serve on in the Senate?
So I've served on a variety of committees in my 10 years in the legislature. I currently am the chairman of the Senate Natural Resources and Environment Committee. I currently serve as the vice chair of the Senate Public Safety Committee. I'm also on the Senate Agriculture Committee and been on that committee the entire 10 years I've been in the legislature. I also serve on the Rules Committee, which Senator Jeff Mullis is the chairman of, and I also serve on the Senate Appropriations Committee, and where I serve on one of the subcommittees I serve on the Appropriations Committee is the subcommittee on agricultural appropriations. But past that, on a more regional scale, there's the Southern Legislative Conference, which I participate in, and Senator Mullis does as well. I'm the vice chairman of the Agricultural Committee for the Southern Legislative Conference, which is the 18 southeastern states, and I was elected to that position by my colleagues from those 18 states, and been pleased to serve as the vice chair and look forward to serving as the chairman of the Ag Committee of the SLC Ag Committee of the 18 southeastern states. So serving in a lot of capacities and in a lot of different ways under the Gold Dome, and I just look forward to bringing that work ethic, those farm values I've put to work for the last 10 years in the state Senate. I look forward to bringing all that to the Ag Commissioner's office.
I know when they needed to appropriate the money from Washington and they were slow about bringing it down to Georgia, But Sonny Perdue worked very hard to get that done.
Yes, ma'am, he did, and it goes back. You were to the Hurricane Michael issue you were referring to, and there was some issues there. And you're right, Secretary Perdue, Governor Perdue, worked very hard in conjunction with Commissioner Black and others to make sure that that money was appropriated to our farmers and producers in the state of Georgia, and ensure that it become a little more streamlined. And we're going to work to ensure that that's the case. And just like Secretary Perdue did when he was Ag Secretary for the United States and working to put our American farmers and farm families first and consumers first, I'm going to do the same thing as the next Georgia Ag Commissioner, and putting Georgia farmers, Georgia families, Georgia consumers first, and ensuring that when those things happen, that we work as seamlessly and as effective and efficient and quickly as possible to get that disaster relief where it needs to be, in the hands of our producers and our farmers across the state. And but yes, they did work very hard to make that happen, and we're going to work just as hard to ensure that that's the case going forward.
In those 10 years of serving in legislature in the various committees that you just said you were on, I would think certainly is going to give you a leg up on any competitors that may come along, because you've got some of the connections that whoever is in that seat is going to need.
Yes, sir.
And you've already established
yes,
it,
sir.
it sounds like.
We have really good relationships at the Capitol. I have really good relationships with my colleagues,
Right.
obviously in the Senate, since I'm a member of the Senate. But I have really good relationships with the members of the House and leadership of the House and the Senate, and obviously with the governor's office and the lieutenant governor's office. And those relationships are very important when you serve in roles such as a commissioner of agriculture, because you've got to have resources for your department and for the people that work under you. And I look forward to working with those dedicated individuals in the department, but you also have got to have those individuals to help you ensure that we're doing the things that we need to do in regards to agriculture and moving it in the right direction. And I look forward to building on those relationships and utilizing those relationships to make that happen.
Okay, we need to tell these folks out there why they need to vote for you
Oh, yes, ma'am.
in May and November.
Yeah, that's right. So this next May, and I'd love to earn your vote and your support and your help on our campaign, or this next November. Tyler Harper for Agriculture Commissioner. I look forward to serving as our next Ag Commissioner. For over 200 years, my family's called Georgia home. We've invested here and we've sustained here, and I want to make sure that we're able to do the same thing for the next 200 years, and that agriculture continues to be our #1 industry. And I look forward to helping make sure that that's the case, and working for our farmers, our producers, and our consumers on a day-to-day basis, and leading an agency, like I've said, of dedicated employees to make that happen. And I look forward to making that happen. And by earning your help and your support, we can do this together, and you can be a part of our team. And I hope you'll join us, or visit our website, or find us on social media. All of that's TylerHarperGA.com, and we're on Tyler Harper GA all over social media. And so we can hopefully earn your help and your support and your vote at the end of the day. Look forward to doing so.
Tyler, what's the name of your farm? You have
My farm, it's pretty simple. We got, Tyler Harper Farms, Harper Family Farms. We have a Harper Hill Cattle Company. So we have 2 or 3 farm names. But most of the row crop operation I just farm under my name. But the overarching deal is pretty well Harper Family Farms, and because we've been there for quite a number of years. But yes, ma'am.
all right.
So nothing insightful, I guess you could say. Pretty simple.
Thanks for coming.
Yes, ma'am.
Look
We're
forward
glad to
to
be
seeing
with
you
you.
more.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank
Come back
y'all
and
for
see
the
us.
opportunity to visit with y'all.
Yes, sir.
It's been awesome to be on with you this evening,
Well,
and
thank you.
look forward to earning y'all's help and support as well, and look forward to being back on your show.
Yes, sir.
We'll let you come back when you want
And
to.
after you get elected, don't be a stranger.
Well, I look forward to coming back. If not before, I look forward to coming back as the Ag Commissioner and us discussing what's happening in the world of agriculture in the state of Georgia.
Good. We look forward to it.
Keep them trees growing so we won't have a shortage of toilet paper.
We will. Don't worry. Thank y'all very much. Good to be
All
with you.
right, you're welcome, and we're